Bonjour!
Hello!
Bienvenue au podcast numéro 35.
Welcome to podcast number 35.
Je m'appelle Lisa.
I'm Melissa.
Et nous sommes de Espace Tricot, une boutique de tricot à Montréal.
And we're from Espace Tricot, a knitting shop in Montreal.
And here we are, finally got our introduction down pat after a few tries. It's funny, I guess after 33 podcasts of doing it always in English, it's going to take us a while.
There's a thing she's speaking in French, but she's still speaking English. And I'm like, Lise, you're speaking English.
That's life in Montreal. We go back and forth. So we got our act together, and we're here a couple of weeks after our last podcast.
Yeah, 3 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, so we just had our Bien-Aimé pop-up shop on the weekend.
That was so fun.
It was nice because it was our first pop-up shop it was our second after Shani in the atelier.
Yeah, so it was our second after our grand opening. So Shani was great and helped us launch our new space, but La Bien-Aimée was our first one where we filled the whole space with yarn.
And it was very nice and colorful, and it was really a nice feeling that people, because last time, I guess, it really kind of like, ça nous a marqué, like we were affected by this pop-up because last year we had it in our store.
Well, yeah, about a year and a half ago we had our last
and it was
Bien-Aimé
so congested and it was tight, and this time I was like,
it was so peaceful.
It was a peaceful shopping experience. It was really nice.
Well, it might not have felt like that for everybody who came in. If they came in, it was busy, but it was still, it wasn't so crowded. And we had 1,000 skeins of Bien-Aimé, so it was quite colorful, and we did fill the whole space, and it was hard not to take it all home ourselves.
No,
right?
I know, but it's interesting because now that we we've had it a second time now, we're like, okay, it's accessible, so we don't have to hoard like we did before. Because before you're like, oh, you never know if we're gonna get it again, you know.
Exactly.
So, and it was very interesting because what we asked Aimee to do this time was to really choose the colors for us.
Yeah.
So last time she still chose, but we had more of an input. But we were like, oh my god, just decide on the.
Yeah, we knew that we wanted 4 bases. We wanted her merino singles, which I think we got 800 skeins of the merino singles of the last time.
Yes,
and this time we wanted to split it up a little bit because there's more interest in knitting with DK. We've noticed,
and sport too,
as well as her new Mondim base. Well, at least the collaboration that La Bien-Aimée and Retrosaria Rosa Pomar are doing in the hand dyeing of the Mondim yarn, the Portuguese yarn. So we asked Aimee to give us, all 4 of those bases, but to curate the collections of colors herself. There were a few colors that we said that we wanted specifically, but really we gave her free rein to put those together for us, right?
And it was interesting because the palette was very different than the
it
last
been
time.
If we would have picked it, right?
So it was very cool because, we really feel she has the expertise, she has the knowledge, she kind of knows what's in the zeitgeist, like what's popular, what's coming out. And we
would have just picked our tried and true colors. And
so she there were colors there that we never would have thought of or that are new, and so that was really nice to see that we're like, oh, it's really nice to learn, like, okay, from somebody who's an expert in there and who kind of knows what's coming up, I mean,
and it's funny because we have some young staff members, and so we would take some colors out of the bins, and I'm like, wow,
we would have never
ordered that. Is this a popular color? Is this gonna sell? And Em and Naomi were like, yeah.
I was like, I think I'm gonna take this one home for myself. We're like, okay. I guess we're it's good because it appeals to a different demographic, and it's hard because a lot of times knitters don't know what they want till they see it. So like in fashion too, the people who set the trends, they kind of have an insight as to what's coming up.
Yeah,
so
they're just sort of ahead of that curve. You gotta stay ahead of the curve. So and Aimee is like that. She's obviously she's setting trends, I'd say, in the industry, wouldn't you?
Yes, I definitely think so. And
so sometimes the rest of us just need to catch up.
Yes, and we just need to let other people, do their thing and take over where it's needed.
Yes,
and so we're gonna when we talk about yarns, we're actually gonna show you some of the yarns, and so you can get a sense of the bases and the colors. So that was really great. And then we had Verb for Keeping Warm that we talked a little bit about, that we launched, and so that was really nice.
We just showed the colors, or we showed some of the colors on the last podcast, but we hadn't launched it yet.
Yeah, it's actually right behind you, Melissa. So that's a really nice, beautiful palette, really soft, naturally dyed yarns.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you some samples too that we did in that. So that launched at the same time, and those are still for sale on our web store.
Did you talk about what the content of Floating was?
Well, we talked about it last time. It's the alpaca cashmere silk. and a very, very beautiful drapey yarn. And, you know, somebody, I was talking to somebody at the pop-up who wanted to buy it, and it was interesting because what she wanted to make was something that needed a little bit more structure and hold. And, and I was like, oh no, this yarn is really like a beautiful drapey, silky.
Beautiful, silky.
So, yeah.
You know, silky, I'm just thinking of the Veronica
sweater
by Coco Knits or Julie.
Poncho.
Yeah, or just, you know, wraps and shawls and
cows, or like a
cowls,
drapey cardigan, or, you know, you don't want it for like a thick cowl that you're going to wear in the winter.
Yeah.
So
it'll be cozy warm, but it's not a highly structured yarn at all because of the alpaca content.
Yeah, and you know, that's why there's so many different yarns, right?
Yeah.
For different things. So that we launched at the same time, and then so we're sort of like gearing into our full programming for our atelier, and we made this nice little bilingual schedule.
Yes.
Where it's available for those of you who come to our shop. We have printed versions. If not, we have our calendar online.
Yeah. So what's next, Lise?
It's our Marché de Noël, our Maker Fair. So this is our poster for our Maker Fair. And so what we decided, we always do some kind of little holiday party every year for our customers. And it's interesting because somebody thought it was a holiday party for our staff. And so they're like, oh.
Well, why would you advertise that? But okay.
So just want to make that clear for whoever's in Montreal.
For everybody.
It's for our customers. It's next Saturday afternoon from 1 till 5. And what we decided this year was we have so many talented staff members that we decided to have a maker fair with just the people who work in our store. Yeah. Now we also thought, you know, we have a lot of customers who are makers, so maybe next year we'll expand it.
Yeah.
But so this year
I think there's 6 or 7 of them who all sort of make things that aren't necessarily knitting related, although we have someone who will be selling, 2 or 3 people selling
yarn.
Their hand-dyed yarn with Catherine, Naomi,
and Scrumptious Pearl,
Stephanie. Yeah. And then we have Mona, who's selling her hand-sewn, beautiful hand-sewn things.
Yeah, bags, and if anyone's into pens, she's doing pen rolls, which can also be needle rolls. She's doing
little needle books.
Yeah, to store your needles.
And scrunchies.
And
bringing the scrunchies
pin
back.
cushions.
Oh, and pin cushions too.
That are magnetic.
Yeah.
They were so
cute. She made those for us once before for Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So,
and
then baking. Emma and OC are baking, so you know you always need baking.
Stephanie Earp is bringing kits for her clocks
and jewelry. She does these like tassel earrings.
Oh yeah.
So unfortunately, none of this is online, but it's in store.
So if you're in town, then certainly make time if you can in your schedule. Saturday 1 to 5, December 7th.
And we're going to have, we're going to have a hot apple cider, some Prosecco like we always do. We're going to have like little munchies and Christmas cookies and things like that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll have the fireplace on.
Yeah, 65-inch fireplace. And we're going to have obviously door prizes. We're going to have raffles. And we're going to also have like little gifts when people come in. So it'll be lots of fun. Françoise is in charge of decorating for us. So she's got to get that going this week. So that's happening.
Yeah, and then the next thing that's coming is February 14th, hopefully. We put it on our schedule, but we are waiting for shipment of Farmer's Daughter fibers. So we are bringing in Candace's Craggy Tweed yarn, which we're super excited about, her mohair, Mighty Mo, and her fingering weight yarn that has a little bit of bronze stellina in it. So it's going to be a nice sparkly one for the holidays. So that one, the pop-up is scheduled for December 14th, but we just never know with the postal system. So
fingers crossed.
It has to be delayed a week, then so be it.
And so that's
the next one coming
That's the next one. And then just maybe to give 3 quick plugs for what's coming after is Christmas, we have Akara Yarns from Kingston. So we're super excited that she's I guess I would say local. I'm trying to say local, but Kingston is 3 hours away. But Canada's a large country, so she's a beautiful hand dyer and new to us. And so it was Naomi actually who introduced us to her yarns. So we're so looking forward to having her, and she'll be coming actually. So that's going to be fun. She'll be here in the shop. And then Aruna from Buku is coming to give some workshops in January 15th, 16th, 17th or something. 17th to
those
the 19th.
workshops are actually all sold out now, but she's giving a full weekend of workshops, but she's also doing a meet and greet on the Friday night with a trunk show.
Yeah, and a pop-up.
So, pop-up.
Yeah, she's coming and she's bringing stuff, bags to sell. We're
Yes.
so excited. We love Aruna and all her products and just herself as a person. So if you'd like to meet Aruna,
Aruna's super fun.
she's really, I mean, we always liked her, but we didn't realize what a sense of humor she had until we were at Knit City in Vancouver.
She's fun. She's sharp and
she's she's a little bit of a knitter, and we were doing the trivia, and she was like, she knew all the answers to this stuff. We're laughing
like, how
at
come
her.
you guys don't know that?
She's, I'm not a knitter, and I know that stuff. So if you'd like to meet her, that would be great. And then we have Shibui is coming with Julie Hoover, who's one of our favorite designers from the very beginning when we opened up our shop. We sold a lot of her patterns and
so that's
knit her
towards the end
patterns.
of January.
Yeah, so we'll be having reminders, but sort of that's what's coming up.
And then not on our list yet, we have Cozy Posy is doing
In
a
February.
trunk show, pop-up, I guess, in February.
Yeah.
And is that?
I think that's all we have
that's
scheduled so far.
Yeah.
And our big challenge also right now is we're looking for a venue for our Knit City Knit Along. It's been very difficult.
The Knit Night, yeah.
The Knit Night. Montreal we've come to learn, is a very expensive city to rent places to host. And a lot of the places want you to, like if you do a restaurant or a bar, they want you to eat a lot. And what we've realized is knitters, like, they're not big eaters, you know, they like nibble a little bit. Every time we've been to an international knit night, most of the food ends up being thrown out.
Yeah.
And so it seems like such a shame. So to find a place that's like the lighting is good, the ambiance is comfortable, there's like, it's very social with seating for people to sit in.
There's a cash bar.
There's a cash bar, and that there's a little bit
of
you don't have
some
to
things
like
to nibble on, but not a full meal.
yeah, and it's not extravagant costs. So it's been very, very challenging. We visited a few places. We've got Françoise and Naomi working with us. So
we have a line on a few. We have a line on a few that will hopefully materialize.
So fingers crossed. We're trying hard, and it's really hard. You know, it's interesting because we read comments that people write from other knit nights and activities, and you know, sometimes people can be pretty harsh about, you know, what, but I don't think you realize really
what's involved in finding a place that kind of meets a whole bunch of criteria. And sometimes I guess compromises need to be made.
Yeah. And also for it to be affordable for people to come to. So we're kind of struggling with that, but hopefully it will all work out.
It's all going to be great, you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
in the end, it'll be great.
As long as you're together and you have your knitting.
Exactly.
You know? It's just too bad it's March because we could have done something outside, you know.
Yeah,
that would have been
if
fun.
it was just a little bit later.
Yeah. So that's
Okay, so those are events coming up.
Oh, and then okay, so that's kind of our little chit chat. Oh, also the Cast On collaborative.
Oh, our Cast On collaborative. Okay,
Yes.
so just to remind everybody, I don't know if we talked about it in our last podcast.
I don't think
no. I know I've talked about it or mentioned it or on
Instagram.
So we are participating in the Cast On Collaborative December of Designers initiative, and this is something organized by Christy of Yarn Cafe Creations, and she has sort of put together this incredible group of people to design a new pattern every day and to be released every day in December. So Tracy Miller of Grocery Girls had hers. Is it called the Canmore Cowl?
I think it's called the Canmore
Cowl. So that was released on December 1st. And December 2nd today was Alicia Plummer, I believe. Hers is a cute little color work hat. Oh. The idea behind this Cast On Collaborative initiative is that a portion of the sales from everybody's patterns, the sales from the first day, are donated to mental health or suicide awareness, suicide prevention initiatives. So we were approached by Christy to participate somewhere back in August, and of course we were happy to come up with a pattern and prepare that. So our day is coming up. I would say that it's in the first half of the month.
A very simple pattern.
It's a very simple pattern.
Melissa and Lisa.
And in fact, the ask from Christy was that patterns be kept to, requiring less than 100 grams of yarn and to be relatively simple. And so we really took that to heart and did something in that vein. Anyway, we hope you like it. We hope it's, obviously something that's easy to cast on. All our patterns tend to be something that you can just grab your yarn, grab your needle.
Just enjoy a movie, a book, chat with somebody, an evening, and knit at the same time. Yeah. So that's a good way to put it, eh, Melissa? It's the spirit of who we are. So, and our proceeds, we're going to be announcing our charity, and it'll probably be a Canadian mental health charity, maybe something more specifically in Quebec, Montreal. Yeah. And when we post the pattern, then the information will be put on there. And I just wanted to show you, this is the instance by Alicia Plummer. So this is her pattern, and
That's the one today.
And that's the one today. And I see
Right
there she is.
Yeah.
So easy to find because her picture is there. So that's great. So it's called the Canmore Cowl. It's such a cute picture
nice
of her.
Picture of
Look
Tracy,
at that.
Yeah.
So that's her, and then you can have her details with the charity that
I think Isabel Kramer's pattern is coming out soon as well. I think tomorrow.
Okay.
And then Jody of Grocery Girls has one coming out as
Look
well.
at that.
So
See, we did ours together. That's how we roll.
Yeah,
That's how we
exactly.
roll. So yeah, so that's really nice, and we were nervous to be a part of it because we're like, oh my God, who are we and what can we do?
Amazing designers in this lineup, but
Like everyone needs an easy pattern.
exactly.
That's why they come to Espace Tricot.
Yeah, exactly. It's our thing.
Yeah. So so I guess that's our little intro.
Yeah.
And what are you wearing, Madame?
Oh, I'm up first, Lise?
Yeah, just because you know.
So I'm wearing my dotted rays. This is a pattern by Stephen West, and you know, Lisa and I both have had this pattern in our queue for years.
You like
And-
when I think since it first came out, like
Probably.
years.
And I think I said at the beginning of our last podcast that, you know, there was just something about waking up that particular morning and deciding that today was the day that I was going
I'm
to
like,
cast on the dotted
she's
rays.
casting it on. I'm left in the dust.
So, you know, this pattern just met all my criteria at the time. I chose our Grace yarn to knit it with mohair, so you know, check for me. And then from the pattern itself, it is one of those patterns you just cast on. It's straightforward, it's repetitive, it's meditative, and yet still really engaging because you have to do some counting. It's short rows, but it was just an incredibly, I don't know, it was the right pattern at the right time.
You
I
knit
don't
it
really know.
relatively fast, I have to say. Like, you kind of didn't let it go.
Well,
you just-
I knit a poncho.
I know,
and
but
I
you
knit other
continued
stuff in-
knitting
yeah,
it. Like, you
because
didn't knit it and then say, like,
No.
leave it for 2 weeks, you know?
No,
You were
because
kind
it
of always
was
on
really
it.
fun to. It was a fun project to knit and an easy project to knit in between other projects because you kind of, you know, you knew where you were. It was easy to see where you were if you put it down, even if you were in the middle of a section. So I'll show you how it is shaped.
And Aimee from Bien Aimée said it's like one of her go-to patterns. Whenever she doesn't know what to cast on, she casts on one of these.
Yeah.
And we actually bought La Bien Aimée singles to
Yeah.
do a gradient, remember?
Oh, yes, we
bought
did
4
at Edinburgh
colors.
Yarn Festival,
So if you're looking
exactly.
what to do with your La Bien Aimée singles, then this would be a great pattern to do.
Now, and also, I mean, Stephen West has done this in a single color, but he has also, I think the ones that you see more often are the ones where people are doing some sort of fade or
Yes.
multicolored versions. So I decided to just, in the interest of also just keeping it something that I really didn't have to think about, I decided to do it in one color. So it's cast on here. Actually, right here. Can you hold that
Yep.
point out? And then you're just doing these short rows and just, you know, all the way, and it just
Yeah.
creates that beautiful half moon that I've realized is
you're
totally wearable.
And because it's shallow,
Yeah.
it's not like super deep. It's like long and a
Yeah.
little shallower, kind of like the vertices unite, right? So
Yeah.
it's an easy shape to wear.
Anyway, I'll
Oh,
leave it
maybe
off
I'll
for now.
start
I'm a little
mine.
bit. Oh, you have to start at least. You will love it. And like I said, it is something that you can have on the go
Yeah.
in between all your other things that you're
Projects.
working on. If
Go.
you're designing or you're working on other projects, it's just something that you can keep picking up, you know, or it can just be kept as your social knitting.
Yeah, exactly.
That you can.
I don't know. So there's like yarn overs there in short rows. My social knitting
Yeah, but-
hat is like stuck in it.
Yeah, but it's yarn. But
I know it's not hard. It's not hard, but you know me.
it's not hard, and it's just counting.
I just
so.
can't because I talk a lot, and then I talk with my hands, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, and then I can't. I
Okay,
have,
so maybe not social knitting for you, but TV
not for
knitting
me.
or
This is
well,
me,
maybe
but
knitting or
a normal person
Yeah.
they could, but because
Yeah.
my problem is that I get too engaged in the conversation,
just keep
and then I
going.
just keep going. Oh my gosh, shoot, and I gotta undo everything I did. Not because it's hard. It's just
No.
I get too engaged in my discussion.
yeah.
But it is
So
a
anyway,
gorgeous
I highly
one.
recommend this pattern. We use the Grace yarn, as I said. I use the Grace yarn in the Les Filles colorway with color number 62 of the I Say or Mohair, which is it's called Rose, I believe. And we should have more of Les Filles in stock on December 8th, along with the mohair. So we'll make a few kits. Unfortunately, this color in the mohair seems to be very popular with Icers, so they weren't able to send that many bags in our last order. And Les fee. I think I ordered a good amount.
Yeah,
May
I think
actually
so.
have. Yeah. So I mean,
But
if you
don't
just
be
want this
shy
color-
to do other colors.
Exactly. So maybe what I'll do is I'll create a couple other combinations and put them up as suggestions, and then you can create your own kit.
Yeah. And also you
our
can
site.
use, like we said, you can do a fade, you can use your
Yeah.
singles, you can, I mean, what I love about Stephen West's patterns, I
Yeah.
find you could use like DK, Sport, worsted, like, you know, I've done the
Yeah.
vertices unite in like a fingering, I've done it in a sport, I've done it in a worsted, you know, it just changes the shape, you just adjust your needle sizes.
So what I will
Perfect.
say is that I did knit the small size, so it doesn't seem that small because I was taking the fingering weight
Yeah.
yarn and adding that strand of silk mohair, I went up a couple of needle sizes. So I think he calls for a 4mm, and I went up to a 5mm, and that way I was able to knit just the small size, but still get dimensions that were probably somewhere
Yeah,
in between
so-
the small and the large. So more of a medium
Yeah.
size, I guess. I imagine the large was quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, usually his larges are quite large.
Yeah. So, and to me, it's like the perfect size for just wrapping around your neck twice and tying. So, really,
C'est beau,
highly
c'est beau.
recommend.
C'est beau. Good.
Yeah,
So
I recommend the
that's-
pattern. Just recommend that as a comforting palette cleansing knit. Okay,
palette
Elise.
cleansing. So I'm wearing a beautiful shawl that I did not even knit, but I helped design.
There you
I
go.
kind of helped Jocelyn. So Jocelyn, one of our teachers, did the final design of this pattern. And I mean, we've showed this pattern before. It's called the Saint Laurent. And so I had, this was back when I hadn't yet done a design. So I had the idea, but didn't know how to make it happen. So I talked about it with Jocelyn, and she made it happen. So it's called the Saint Laurent. We have one in our, the original one was done in our linen Espace Tricot Petit Lin.
Oh, it smells nice, Lise.
Yeah, I have a little perfume
You
I
got
got in
perfume
Paris. I
on
know,
today.
you know,
Wow.
I bought perfume in Paris. I was
Wow, and you don't even wear perfume.
I know. So this is the idea of the pattern was Saint Laurent is the main street that divides the east and the west cities of Montreal, traditionally the Anglo and the Francophone sections of the city, but it's a street where everyone loves to conglomerate?
Congregate.
Congregate, that's it. And it's such an amazing city because there's so many different cultural groups, so foods and shops and everything. So this was the idea of that. So you do one side, so it's a triangle, and then you pick up and then you do the same thing on the other side. So it's a free pattern, and this one is done in the Mayak lace, which is 100% yak yarn, and comes from sustainable troop of yaks in Tibet. And Mayak is a really beautiful company to work with, and it's
And this
very
color is
the color is
beautiful.
beautiful. And you know, this was done as a store sample. I forget who knit. Oh, Mona knit it for
yeah.
us, and
I like the way when it folds, it's offset.
yes,
the
that was
points.
the idea,
Yeah.
that it would offset. And so something happened and the yarn ripped, and we didn't have any more of this color. So it's been sitting in a bin for about a year. So I took it out and I said, oh.
Naomi fixed it in 2
Yeah,
minutes.
I'm like, oh, can someone just fix this? Even if you have to put a knot in it, I want to wear it. So Naomi fixed it exactly in 2 minutes. So so we don't have any more of this color left in the Mayak, but we do have a few other colors. So I just wanted to show you. We have some, if you like something that was a little bit more sober, so we have some more natural colors. We have this really fun green, which is called ochre. And then we also have, oh, here was another one. We have this this one, which is, I always think of Mona when I see this color, emerald.
Yeah.
And then what I wanted to point out was there is one color here that is called, it's the natural one, and it's a single ply. It's the only one, which is kind of funny because the Mayak is a 2-plied lace weight yarn. As you can see here, and this color is called Canyon, and there's also a very similar one, it's called Desert. So you can see that these ones are plied, and then this one is a single ply. And I can't remember why, but there was a reason why this natural one only came in a single ply, but I wish I was smart enough to remember why. So if you're interested in using the Mayak, we have some of those colors left. And then after I was thinking, if you wanted a color that wasn't available in the Mayak, you could go for the Biche and Bûche,
that'd be great.
either Le Petit Lamb's Wool or the Petit Lamb's Wool Cashmere, because the nice thing with the Mayak is that it's a lace weight. That's not the right yarn. It's a lace weight, but it's a little bit thicker, right? You call it like a bit of a heavier kind of, it's not like thin.
Right.
So the Biche and Bûche has that similar...
It has that nice sort of structure and poof.
Yes, yeah, that traps the air.
Yes.
And then as
I guess it's more of a woolen spun than a worsted
yes,
spun.
it feels like a woolen spun. And then I'm like, good old Shibui pebble. Which would be a great idea. So it's recycled silk, fine merino, and cashmere. This one doesn't have the poof. So if you're a person who's looking for something softer, less rustic, the Shibui.
But it has the cashmere.
It has the cashmere, so it has a little bit of a halo. So these are just some sample colors I took. So I'm trying to stay away from the gray.
I was going to say.
So the Shibui pebble would be a great idea for the Saint Laurent. And then the other one was the Lamana Modena.
And we talked about this one in our last podcast.
So again, this is a beautiful wool cashmere, 70% wool, 30% cashmere. And this would be very soft and smooth and drapey and warm.
You want to just show the label maybe?
Yes. So if you wanted to, this is the Lamana Como. And there's some...
No, Modena.
Oh, Modena.
You said Modena.
Okay, good. So, and the colors are just very soft, I find. Very, cashmere. Whenever you think cashmere, you often think of that soft palette. Yeah. So every one offers a bit of a different texture, and it's a very repetitive pattern. So at first you have to kind of learn the lace pattern, but then it just repeats and repeats. So I really think those would be beautiful substitutes for that.
There you go.
So there you go. So that's my...
that's
what I'm wearing.
Object?
It's my Isn't it amazing?
Finished object. You've been trotting out a few things you knit in your finished objects.
I'm just
Were you wearing something else last time?
Yes. Well, I did my stalactite, but the time before I had something I didn't knit as well. I mean, seriously, how great is that?
That's because you knit those giant things that you can't have finished every
Yes, now I'm
time.
starting on a blanket for my son, so that's going to be another giant thing.
Okay, Lise, you're next up again with your new design.
Oh.
Okay, so these are finished objects now.
I've just been talking a lot.
No, you can go.
Well, I can go. I can talk some more.
You can go. You're good at talking.
That I am. Too bad you couldn't get a mark for that in school. I had a very good mark. So this is my latest design called Subtle Interruption. So I had showed it on the last podcast, but it's finally finished. And yeah, I guess we can hold it. So this is it's called, I looked up the shape.
It's so good. It looks like pinstripe pants.
And I saw an inverted isosceles quadrilateral shape. Because it's 4 sides. Yeah. But it's got the, I guess, isosceles, like the triangle.
Yeah, and it's quadrilateral.
And it's upside down. It's
4
so
sides,
that's the shape.
Inverted. Yeah.
And it's inverted. And see, it's see-through. It's so light.
I know.
So I really blocked it aggressively so I could get a very light texture. I believe my gauge is 19 stitches.
Okay, in the end.
And the Yumi that we did, no, not the Yumi, the sweater that Catherine did, she did 24, I think.
Oh, really?
22
really?
or 24.
Because this would be fine then.
But it's a little see-through, I would say.
But at a 21, this would be lovely for a sweater, don't you think?
I think definitely. So this is 19, so I really wanted a very light, airy scarf. So it's super light and airy.
But what I'll say is that even though you've knitted at a loose gauge, it does not lack structure.
No, exactly.
It doesn't feel like it's knit too loosely.
No, it really holds itself.
It really does. It's like a lightweight nightshades in that sense.
Oh, yeah, right? You're right. It's really, and the nice thing about designing is you can really make the gauge up after you've done it. So I actually did a gauge swatch to do my math, but then after blocking, it was totally different than what I thought it would be.
So the gauge is whatever it is.
It is. The gauge is 19, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So this, I thought, like...
What did you think it was going to be, like 22?
Yeah. 21, 22. But I kind of blocked it. So you can just wear it like, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Or what's nice too is you can what I like is the idea that you can make it a shawl, but then if you're going out in the winter, you can just make it a scarf. So it's so light that you can easily wear it just as a winter scarf.
And just tie it up a whole bunch of times.
So it can be a very light but warm scarf. And then you can also just drape it over your shoulders. It's wide enough that you can also drape it.
And that's super elegant.
Yeah, so it can be like a really nice, elegant kind of little.
Yeah.
So, so this is my subtle interruption, and the reason I called it that was because you're subtly interrupting the very dark gray with dark gray, and you're interrupting with that line. And then I kind of felt guilty because I had a lot of yarn left over. Because of course I didn't really know what I was doing, and I added you can, if you took off a section, you could get away with one less ball. But I wasn't really ready to like cast off. So I went for it, and then I had all this yarn, so I said, oh, I'll just make a hat. So I give a free hat pattern if people want to also make a hat with the leftover. So this is my subtle interruption hat. A little bit goofy.
No, it's not goofy. It's super chic.
Apparently this is like the style now, like the hipster. I think they pointed.
That's what you are, Lise.
But I think they wear it a bit more back, but I don't know. I'm not hip enough.
Turn to the side. Yeah, look at that shape. It's fantastic.
So, okay, now you're going to be like, well, where's the subtle interruption? So the thing is that I was not going to knit it single-stranded because that would take me too long, and it would be on a small needle.
It wouldn't be as warm.
It wouldn't be as warm.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, so if you want to wear your subtle interruption as a scarf, you can have a hat. So then I was like, I didn't want to do the same because matchy is a little bit much.
Yeah.
I wanted to do complementary. Sounds so design.
Sounds intentional.
So exactly.
Didn't want to be too matchy. More like you didn't have enough of the
yarn, of the black yarn to finish. So what I decided to do was just do one strand of each because the gray, the dark gray, you don't use very much of it.
Okay.
But the very dark gray you use a lot. So what I did was I just double stranded, and I did a fold over brim. I really like that brim. So what you do is you knit, you do a purl roll. I know you can't really see, so I'm really sorry.
Yeah, you can see. I think you can see.
And then you fold over, and then you pick up the cast on edge so that it's double thickness. Because I'm always cold, so it gives you a bit more warmth along your ears. And then I decided to keep my little. Can you see my little slip stitch pattern?
Yeah, it gives a texture.
Here. Okay, it's very subtle. I should have called this subtler interruption. So you have a few of those just to say. Because I could have not done it.
Yeah, but you've got texture. It is still a
and
subtle
it had to, it had to match in a kind of way.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I'm being very talkative here, but all this to say, there's a hat pattern and the scarf pattern, and with the same yarn you can get both.
And as always, they'll be free, right?
They'll be free, and we'll make kits for that. So
there you go.
Maybe I'll leave this on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little change.
It's like wardrobe change.
Yeah, like at the Oscars. Change your wardrobe. Okay, go ahead, Mila. I gotta stop talking now.
So I'm talking about my new design.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I was nearly finished this one last podcast, and so then I finished it, I wrote it up, and I sent it for tech editing this morning or last night.
It came back. Did it come back today?
Oh no! I think Kitty's going to work on it today. Anyway, so this is knit with the Kama Rose Snefnug, the coziest mix of cashmere, I wish, alpaca and cotton, and merino as well, I believe. And again, a super simple pattern. You cast on and go with your twisted rib. I'm all about twisted rib these days, you guys. Everything I do is...
It's like Picasso. She's having her twisted rib phase.
Moment. Exactly. So I had to get my yayas out. I wanted to have something with the twisted rib down the shoulders, and then I did go ahead and do the back a little bit longer than the front. And Mona helped me with the sizing, so altogether we'll have 4 sizes, and there's lots of sort of space in between each of those sizes. So I think it will be a pretty inclusive pattern. That's kind of our goal. I just wanted to mention too that we just got a restock of Snefnug in from Kama Rose, and so we got some colors that we hadn't had before, including this color. Yes,
she's all about that color too.
My current obsession. So this is called Puda, which is like powder, I guess. And I think I had bought this at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival.
You did.
A couple of years ago, right? Or was it last year? In March? Yeah. Last March?
Did you buy it at H&H or Edinburgh?
No, Edinburgh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Must have been last year then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last year.
Okay.
It's all a blur.
Yeah, it's all a blur. Anyway, there are lots of beautiful neutral colors, and then there are of course all these. I mean, she has.
I love this color.
I mean, this whole.
I'm designing a blanket in the navy blue because Gianluca wanted blue, but I don't know. I really wanted that color.
Look at, and I have to say, I saw somebody did a turtle dove in this
Oh,
sweater
how
in
fun.
this color. How fun is that? And in fact, I printed a picture because somebody knit a turtle dove in this color, which I thought was beautiful. So
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
it's right there.
Savita Diaz on Ravelry. I thought it was so pretty.
That
So,
color is really
that
having a
color,
moment, eh?
isn't it?
Oh, it doesn't look
So-
that good on me, unfortunately.
Really? I feel like it's a color that
Well,
looks
it-
good on a lot of people.
yeah,
So this one should be up on Ravelry soon.
Oh yeah, and this too. This one is just in. It's being translated, and
Yeah.
Stephanie is. We're waiting for the photo. Did you do the photos yet?
Yeah, I took photos this
Perfect.
morning.
So hopefully by the
Yeah.
time this podcast
I
airs,
thought
this
I
will be
looked
available.
in our joint Canva account,
Yeah.
and Stephanie I think has already started the layout.
Oh,
so,
fantastic. So hopefully that'll be it. So that's great. We're back to our bin system here.
Yeah, we're just
putting everything in our bin. Oh yeah, we didn't comment the fact that we're back in our usual spot rather than. Feels so
we're
good.
we're happier up here, aren't we?
We love our atelier, but
We
not
love
for
our atelier,
podcasting.
but not for podcasting. I was going to say we're out of our comfort zone, and that just reminded me that the name of my new poncho pattern is going to be the Comfort Zone.
The Comfort
because
Zone.
that's what it was for me, and I hope it is for many other people who knit it.
And I tested it. You can knit in it. You can type on the
Yeah,
computer. You can read a
even.
book.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are our finished objects, and then we have store
Okay,
samples.
new store samples. So, would you have any over there?
I have. This is Tuku, by the way.
You're whispering so they don't hear you, Lise?
So not obvious.
Okay.
So subtle.
Okay.
I hate this
So
one here.
first up, we have the Longing for Gotland socks knit with a combination of a yarn that we introduced last podcast, the Merino Yak from Schachenmeyer, right, Lise?
Yeah.
From Schachenmeyer.
I can.
Okay, can you do that? So these were knit for us by Naomi, who's teaching a class. I think it's coming up, or has it already started?
Can't remember.
Okay. Anyway, they are new
Done.
store samples, and they are also being taught here as a class. This pattern is by Pia Gammaborn, and we did it in a combination of like I said, the Merino Yak along with Tuku wool for because we want a little bit of a pop.
Yeah. So you can use any leftover
Yeah.
yarn that you.
But they're nice. They're nice combination.
They're
those
really
ones,
nice.
yeah.
They're really pretty. And this
This yarn
yarn,
is
I mean, this is
really
Mona
soft.
who turned us on to this yarn.
Yeah.
It's 58% wool, 28% polyamide, and 14% yak. And that yak really gives it, just like my yak
Yeah.
shawl, in the lace
This
weight.
yarn is really soft.
Yeah.
I would knit anything with this. I would knit.
Yeah.
I would knit.
Definitely a shawl for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It would be beautiful. So we are out
Definitely.
of some of the colors, and we've asked Mona
It knits
to
up
place an order for us. So
Yeah.
Mona's going to top that up. So if you don't see the colors you want, just
keep checking back.
keep checking back, and they'll be. So this is really nice, and it's nice to have a different option for a sock yarn, and because it's traditionally just like wool and nylon or merino nylon, so the wool gives it a nice option. So that's a new source sample that Naomi knit for us, and then we have the droplet capelet
yeah.
by Denise Byron.
Oh,
Byron.
this is an exquisite pattern by Denise.
There's verb.
Knit with a single skein of our new floating yarn. Here, Lisa, I'll let
Yeah, I
you.
was looking for that.
There you go. And so pretty. So this is a beautiful pattern that starts up here with the rib, and then it has an increased line here, and these sort of meet these two directions of knitting, and you can wear it as sort of straight on, so it sort of comes down in front, and you wear it sort of like a decorative cowl, or you can move it off to the side, and it becomes sort of an asymmetrical capelet, and it's very, very cozy and drapey in this yarn. It's I
bit of
said
a
in
halo.
our post, yeah, it's a perfect match of pattern and yarn.
And what's nice about this pattern in this yarn is it's very elegant. So I can just picture like you're going out for an evening, and it's not like a cold winter's day, but you can have it draped in
just
front
have
of
it
you
over your
under
shoulder.
your trench coat, under
then
your
turn it to the
sweater.
side.
Turn it to the side when you get there, so it becomes like a poncho or like a shawl. So I love that. I often do that. Have something that I scrunch up as a scarf cowl, and then I open it up,
Yeah.
And
So this one skein was enough to
Yeah,
knit the second size, and really is just 4 meters short for knitting the third size. So I think if you were to leave off a row or two
Yeah.
before
cast
ending,
off.
before the cast off, if you don't mind it. I mean, this didn't use a full ball, so I know that it should be able to do the next one up at least a few more rows.
You know, you could just go until you
just
don't
go
have any
until
yarn
you.
left,
Well,
you
you
know?
want to make sure you leave enough for your
cast off.
But
And
yeah.
a good tip for that is you generally need 4 times your circumference of your piece in order to do the row or cast off.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure, measure out, put like a little tie, and then just keep going until you get to there.
Yeah.
So these are
So-
just some other colors that I wanted to show you.
So we highly recommend that pattern. So it definitely won't take you more than 2 skeins
trying
if you
to-
want to go full up to the very last size, but you can certainly get the first 3 sizes out of 1 skein. And maybe the third size you'll have to leave off a row or 2.
Because as we said, it's a pricey yarn, but it's one of those, you know, you have a really, it's nice
Just
to
one that you really want to treat yourself, or if you want to
Yeah.
knit something special for a friend or loved one, I think that makes an exquisite
Or yourself.
exquisite gift. Or yourself, exactly.
So that's
not?
great. So,
So-
that's those are our 2 store samples, and we
Yeah.
have one that's on its way. So we were going to talk about that
Which
one.
one? Oh, the Wakairo.
Yes.
Yes.
So that
the
one-
Wakairo cowl is by Françoise Denoy. People might know her more as Aroha Knits on Instagram and social media. Anyway, she is a prolific designer and has so many beautiful patterns out there that and many of them are lace designs. And so we decided to knit this pattern up. Francoise is knitting this
Yes.
pattern by Francoise for us in the Fru Valborg, which, because it has this linen content, just 10%
yeah.
linen content, it really, I think, will give it a nice sort of structure, as well as that, you know, that sort of interesting halo. Again, that's just a 1 skein project, and that's going to be, Francois is going to be teaching it as a class here as well, but it will be a store sample soon enough. I don't think it'll take Francois too
No,
long to knit
she's
that
actually,
for us.
Melissa and I designed a shawl. So unfortunately, you know, us,
She's been tied up with that.
and she had to redo the border because after doing the whole border, we realized we didn't change needle size. So she's a trooper.
Did she decide to redo it?
Yeah, we looked at it again. She
Oh,
blocked it.
really?
We tried it, and
Sorry, warm now.
she was like, "No, too floppy. I can't do it."
Oh,
so
what a shame.
it's tough. It's tough, but you know, that's the way it goes when
As
you're
a knitting,
designing.
don't be afraid to undo and redo.
Oh, I lost our notes now. Oh, there they are. Okay, so those are our store samples. Now it's what are we working on, Melissa? You're swatching for the Monty.
Oh, here. Okay. So what am I working on? Is that
Is this
yeah,
your
okay.
some
So,
design?
I mean, this is really not much to talk about at all. It's just that I was really excited to cast on something with the Mondim. So maybe I'll just show a little bit of the Bien-Aimé Mondim that we have in stock. Do you want to?
I'll take these.
Yeah. I mean, these are just a selection. I noticed that I chose all solids this morning, but we also have
Yeah, and they're all on our website.
variegated versions.
So
of
it's
these
really
colors as
fun,
well.
this collaboration. I mean, that's why we said
see there's-
Amy is really sort of a, you know, has her finger on the pulse just a little bit before everybody else, where she's taking a more rustic yarn and she's doing hand dye on them. So
I'm not doing well with the.
I know there's a lot of blowout with
there's
the
La
lights.
Bien-Aimé logo, and then you see there's also the Retrosaria
Like two
Rosa
super
Pomar
cute
logo.
logos.
Yeah. So just to give you an idea, this is how the Mondim comes from Retrosaria. And then, but it comes in skeins when it's dyed by La Bien-Aimé. So I've been wanting to work with this yarn, and of course I just love this color. I'm all about this color right now. So this is the Sansa colorway, and I've decided to swatch. I'm gonna try and design something, probably a sweater. I'm thinking of it as a bit of a mashup between the turtle dove and my comfort zone poncho. So I do want to have sort of that motif of the twisted rib down the sleeves. So something in, you know, that's marrying those designs, but in a much finer gauge. So I haven't even measured my gauge on this yet. I just sort of knit last night and gave it a bit of a steam to see how it was going to look. But I'm loving the texture. So what's nice is it's super soft, but it has good structure. And again, it's going to be my twisted rib with stockinette. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be something like a 22 stitch gauge, 21 stitch gauge is kind of what I'm aiming for, because I don't like to knit sweaters that are anything smaller than that.
Yeah.
So that's in progress, and we'll see where I am in the next podcast. It might be something that I'm working on over the Christmas holidays. Yeah.
I'm actually, like I mentioned, designing a blanket. I've already done 3 swatches with the Camarose, and it's just I haven't found the right combination yet. So I've been toying with fisherman's rib, twisted rib. I kind of like the idea of like an overall just one stitch, not even a border. So I've tried things with a border, without a border, getting the density right. So anyways, I'm going into my 4th swatch now, so I got to keep going, or else I'm going to like
you'll lose your momentum.
I'm going to lose my momentum. And Gianluca's been asking me for a year for a blanket. So I mean, it's nice when your kid wants something that you knit, you know. So I'm going to get on that.
Exactly.
So
you don't want to wait so long that he doesn't want it anymore.
that he's over it. So we forgot to mention, remember Naomi left the plum sweater.
Yeah.
So just want to show. So I think we might have talked about it on the last podcast. So this is a plum sweater that's been on our radar for a long time by Junko Okamoto. And so Naomi did a swatch for us in the Giles tweed. And it's really a really nice texture. It's single ply tweed yarn, and so these are the 2 colors we chose. And so here she is. She started it, and she said that she was reading some comments, and there's a provisional cast on, and they said it was a good idea to keep it in right until the end to help give it a little more structure, because it's quite
a very get stretched out as you're knitting it. Also, the pattern is written in one size, and it seems to be quite generously proportioned.
Yes.
So Naomi's swatch, you can see that she swatched in the round, which is great. It's a very smart thing to do when you are when you know you're going to be knitting the majority of your project in the round.
And if you're not sure how to do that, there's just swatching in the round, and you'll find lots of videos on YouTube.
And anyway, this swatch is 22 stitches, and it feels great, and I would happily knit this yarn at a 22 stitch gauge, but I think we decided to downsize the actual store sample to 24 stitch gauge. So, which also has a nice structure as well. But 22 is what's called for in the pattern, and this yarn would be perfect for that.
Yeah, here she has the max bust circumference is about 56 inches.
Is that finished?
Yes.
Okay.
Size. Her one size.
Okay.
So that's interesting. We'll keep you posted and see how that.
And if you want that a little bit bigger, then you just use a slightly thicker yarn and go up a needle size, and you should be okay.
So we have this pattern too, Melissa. Are we going to talk about this one now?
Oh yeah, just because I was talking about the Mondim, I also wanted to mention that I'm really sorry, Diana, the printer cut off your face this morning. But this pattern is so beautiful. So this is a new design that's coming out this week by Diana Walla of Cake and Vikings on Instagram, and it is knit with the Mondim as well. Oh look, it looks like that's the bottom of my face. So I'll post a picture on Instagram when that pattern comes out, and maybe also put together a couple of combination palette ideas for it. Yeah.
So that's that. I have my verb for keeping warm. My work in progress.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So my marin. So I was corrected twice on our podcast. I said marin.
Marin.
But it's Marin.
It's like for Marin County, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I apologize. So I did a little bit work on it yesterday, so I could show some progress. I hadn't touched it since the last podcast.
Pretty.
So the podcast is keeping me honest. This is called Sundappled. So it's kind of. Oh, I'm really sorry. The light is really.
Yeah.
It's not working today.
It's not good today. Maybe you go really close.
Oh. Sundappled. So this is sort of, I think it's the only one that's speckled. Yes, it is. And this was a stash buster because I bought it at EYF last year. And I have a nice little stitch marker from a Progress Keeper from Tiffany from Twill and Print. So so this is fun. So this is the end here.
It's a very delicate looking
It is
little
very
shawl,
little,
isn't it?
and it's like a little shawlette. So I think I had shown it's scalloped, and oh, I don't have the shape, but it's going to be like a one skein project.
It's sort of like
a little
half
indoor
moon,
shop,
but scalloped edge.
scalloped edge, right? So I'm really looking forward to that. It's a little bit slow go because it's a chart and you have to do things in different sections. But it's just I'm looking at this as really just taking my time, and I'm gonna have a nice. This is one I have to say I'm looking forward to the final product. So sometimes it's more about the process. This one is about the product. And it's only one skein, so I can make it through, and the yarn is just lovely. So that's my work in progress.
Did you want to show the board you're using?
Yes, that's a good time. Okay, yeah, so there's this magnetic board that I've been using really a lot since we got it, actually. So I think we've had this
since almost the beginning.
Yeah, this is one of those totally non-sexy things, but it's like super practical. And you know me, I'm on practicality.
Sexy in its practicality.
Maybe if it was black or gray or something. It's like the color, I think. So it's just a plain magnetic board, and I always put that in. It's funny because whenever I would sell these when I was working in the store all the time, I would actually give people the little sleeve.
I just put it in.
Exactly. So what I do is I always put my pattern inside, and so and that way.
So you can put the sheet that you're working, the piece you're working, just over the board, and the rest of your pattern just behind.
Yeah, because what happens is that it gets all dog-eared and then everything falls off. So what I like to do is so this is the shape of the Marin. You get to see the beautiful shape. So if you pretend that this is a chart, then what you do is you have your magnet, and then you put your magnet where the line that you're reading, and then you move it up. And then also what I do is if there's a part that's a repeat, then what you can do is you can put you put your magnets, for example, there, and then that's the repeat, and then you keep. I know it's hard to show. I don't want to show the chart of the pattern, but trust me, that's how it works, So, and it's really nice because then you just move it up, move it up, move it up, and then when I travel, I just put my magnets inside, and I don't lose them. So it's super easy to go. And then, as Melissa said, you can have your chart on one side, and then if there are any instructions, you can just put them on the other side. For example, it's like you need to know, you have to remember what the cable is. You just put them on the other side. And everything stays in here, so I really like that. And then for those of you who like to work at a table, you can also get the stand. So the stand used to come as a kit, but not anymore. And so when I work at a table, I just have it there, and then when I work in my bed, I just have it flat. So that's great. And the last little gadget that comes with this is the magnifying glass. So it's a magnetic magnifying glass. So instead of using the ruler, you can use this, and it has a line, a red line, and then you move it up and down. So this is fantastic. Not expensive at all, like $12 or something like that.
Affordable, but a great investment to make your knitting life easier.
Yes,
right?
Because I was like laughing. I was putting washi tape, and then I was like not moving the washi tape, and I'm like, could you just go and get your magnetic board? So I did. So that's a good little gadget. Okay, now Melissa, you have another work in progress.
Oh yes. So I am working on a pair of mittens, and this is part of our cozy knit-along, Cozy Cal that we have running right now. So we started this on at the end of November, on November 26th, and so we launched that hashtag on Instagram, and we were also having some sessions in store. So we're meeting for 4 weeks, and so we're gonna pick prizes from the in-store group as well as from the Instagram hashtags. So if you are working on it, you don't have to have finished your project to be eligible for a prize. We just want people to be participating and sharing on Instagram. So again, it's let me see if we have it here. Oh yeah. Espace Tricot Cozy Cal. There it is. I'll put it on the. I'll put it down below.
And there are 3 patterns. So there's the On the Sea Train hat.
Yeah.
There is the turtle dove sweater, and then the big merino mints. And we wanted, because some people like sweaters, some people like smaller projects, some people want something easier.
Exactly.
So that's what we did.
We just thought it would be a nice idea to get people started, or encourage them to get along with their gift knitting if they were doing some. So I decided to do the big merino mitts to go with my my shawl, and which I'll probably wear mostly as a scarf. And this one combines the Woolfolk Far with the Isair mohair, and it is luscious and cozy, and they're the simplest mitts. So that you just cast on, you have your cuff, you're gonna knit straight, you're gonna put 7 stitches on hold here, continue knitting You're going to do a little Kitchener stitch at the end and then come back and pick those stitches up and just knit your thumb. Couldn't be easier as far as mittens go. Super fast. I knit a whole bunch as gifts one Christmas. So highly recommend that.
And actually I have these ones that it's my theme. I did not knit. So these Mona knit these for me one Christmas, and actually it's I think it's a thicker gauge, Melissa? Or because I always wear my mints a little bigger. I think she just,
but also you've got liners in yours.
Yeah, so I'm always cold, and for me just a single like this is not good enough. So I actually bought these merino liners from Arc'teryx, and then it's fantastic. Like it's -5 today, and I put the liner in with these, and I'm nice and toasty. So now we're just gonna try to move quickly through some products that we want to feature, and our biggest one is our petite pochette. We forgot about that.
Oh my goodness.
So how fun is this? So Jocelyn, who's one of our teachers, master knitters, we see these pencil cases and all these different fabrics that she's like selling at a craft fair. And we're like, excuse me, why did you never tell us about these?
That you make these.
That you make these. So how amazing. So she made them as a pencil case, notions case.
So what happens? Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Lise.
So it's like a tray. So it's kind of inspired by some Japanese models of pencil cases. And it's just lays completely flat. And you have all your stuff in here. And look, it has our stamp with our logo.
So what we decided was to have her sort of create some custom ones for us. So we invested in some linen and some some ribbon, and we had our little stamp made, right, Lise?
Yeah, that was fun.
And Jocelyn was just, I mean, the way that her production.
Oh my
line,
God!
Lise. Do you have the piece of paper with our colors?
Too professional.
She's so professional.
She even made us like a shade card with like all the swatches of fabric with the names underneath.
So what we decided to do actually was to pick a staff member who we associate with a particular color to be the name of that
I know, how fun.
pochette. So this, for example, is Francoise. This is going to be, this one's going to be Emma.
This is Mona.
This is me. Where's you? Where's Graphite Gray? This is Lisa.
This is me.
This is Chloe.
This is Catherine.
See, we don't even have to look. We know who these are.
Now this is fun because Stephanie, is it this one or this one?
No, this is Espace Tricot.
This is Espace Tricot because it's kind of like the
our
pinky
color right now,
color that we're doing. So this one, which is fun, is so we have Stephanie and Annie who work together, and they take care of our inventory. So because Annie is in Stephanie, we called it Steph-Annie. So that was a really pretty collaboration.
This one's Naomi, just that nice natural.
And then did we have Chloe here? I don't think we have
Chloe.
Chloe. Oh,
Chloe was the yellow one.
Oh yeah. This is Sasha.
And the navy one is this Amelia, right? No, this is...
the navy is Amelia.
Oh, but this is Lisa, so that must be...
Oh, this is Amelia.
Yeah, this is Graphite Gray looks a little blue, but...
Yeah, this is blue a tad on the purpley.
Yeah, it looks a little brighter on screen than it is. Yeah.
And then Jocelyn is this one, the sand. And then where's Giovanna? Oh, that's Giovanna.
Light blue.
And
it's kind of a gray. It's a gray
blue.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny is that it was pretty easy to name them all.
Yeah.
And the staff are just so excited. So
we're gonna take a picture of each one with
holding
the person.
theirs. And I wanted to show you.
But let's fill one. Oh, did you fill one?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
As you were talking at the beginning, so I just wanted to show you that I just put some stuff in here. So I have like I have ruler, I have measuring tape, I have a pen, I have my chibis, I have my stitch stoppers, I have a row counter, and then I have my little pouch here with that has scissors and darning, that has scissors and crochet hooks and all my gadgets.
Look how much it holds.
So
can I just tip it up?
And it can even, it's not even stuffed.
It's not stuffed at all. And you can put so. I just think it was incredible. It was like this magical little.
I think I can even put my thing here, and then let's close it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have seen us. We were like kids when we saw this. We were like, Jocelyn, c'est pas possible, c'est magnifique.
And then it just slides into anything you have, and it's even got a little D-ring here, so if you want to hook it onto something, if you've got a little carabiner type thing.
And even if you're not a knitter, it's a great pencil case.
It is.
It's
so it's a great
cool.
little gift.
And then what's great is that when you open it, it's just like, tout est là. On voit tout.
It sits open.
It sits open and you just see everything. Like, seriously,
I mean,
genius.
that's one of the things we love so much about Jezebel's Notions cases, right?
So, which is what I have here.
So let's show that. That's
So,
also one of our favorites.
This is also one of our favorites. So now it's going to be competition here. So I guess we're going to need
you need
both.
different ones for different. So if you don't like having to mess with a zipper or anything like that, what's nice about Jezebel's is that they're Velcroed. So there's never anything that you have to mess with in terms of undoing and doing. It's just...
People really don't believe that things don't fall out of here. But I want to tell you, things do not. I have never had something fall out. And if something will fall out, it will fall out for me. So I put some nice on. It's like an amazing Notions case. And I love the fact that it's flat. And again, like nothing is going to fall out of here unless you don't close it properly.
But then, I mean, in the same way that these ones lie flat, when you open it...
It's a tray.
It's a tray. You've got everything there.
And we have many colors. It comes in denim, it comes in the gray, it comes in the brownish camel color. So really, that's a really great...
Yeah, and you're not having to sort of like search anything.
And you can put some cute pins on there. I've got some slow knitter, one stitch at a time. This is from Fringe. This is our pin, Knit Club, and the skein from... So anyway, so that's...
so beautiful. So I have to photograph these, but hopefully I will photograph these before I get this podcast edited so that these can be put up on online.
Yeah.
So
that's, I mean, we just love the fact that we can collaborate.
Okay.
So, and then we have a new Fringe bag that's being released.
Yes.
So I have that over here, Melissa.
So this is another collaboration between Fringe Supply Company and Jennifer Hewitt, or Jen Hewitt, who is a textile designer, an artist, and you might remember or know her Hank one very well. So the black and white one, and also they did sort of a different color for a couple of stores. So this is the one that's being released on December 6th. And again, it's just sort of neutral,
so
natural, but just a beautiful, beautiful print. This appeals to everything in me. Everything in me.
It's also, you just want to have it on your on your shelf, right?
Exactly.
Just to look at it. It's so beautiful.
I will try and not take another Fringe bag, please. Anyway, so those will be online December 6th. So mark your calendars if you would like one, because we have them in limited supply, and I don't think that we can reorder necessarily, at least certainly not before Christmas.
We also, we talked, we've been carrying Zigzag Stitches bags for quite a long time, and so we have a nice selection in store. So I just brought a few for those of you who are looking for a different kind of project bag. So, there's so many project bags, and I don't know if this is a good idea.
Yeah.
So I can just show you. So we have the regular boxy bag, the bigger boxy bag. So the regular one is the small one. It's just called boxy bag, and then we have the bigger boxy bag. So if you're interested in that, and I should show you how these were the first project bags that we discovered, Melissa?
Yeah, that we started
stocking regularly. And Catherine is just so great, and also she indulges us with the prints.
So it really is boxy.
It's a boxy bag.
And it holds a surprising amount. And Catherine's workmanship is
you can find a lot of these bags, but Catherine's workmanship is exceptional. The way she matches the prints, we have never had any defects or problems with them. And you can put a sweater in here easy.
Yeah,
easy.
Surprising.
And I've often had this with my carabiner hanging off my belt while I'm knitting on the go.
Yeah.
So so those are beautiful. So we have we have a nice little selection of those in store. And then in terms of bags, I think we had another...
Do we have any more bags?
The Pleister.
So these are the Pleister project bags. So we were stocking these along with the project pouches and the knapsacks. We do have knapsacks left.
So this is the knapsack, and it's I got both yellow ones. Yeah. But it's like, I love a knapsack that has these handles, because you don't always...
You just want to
You
sometimes
just want to grab and go,
not
especially
put
if
it
you're
on
in
your
and
back.
out of the car, you know. So I love the handles with the extra pouch inside. And then this does come with a project bag. Different, doesn't have the leather loop like her one that's sold separately.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic project bag. And we have many different colors. So I just happened to pull the yellow. And then here we have a khaki color, which is really nice. And then the
we
powder
have
pink,
the
that
powder
is
pink, which is very much in demand.
à la mode.
So, and we have, again, we have all those colors as well in the project bags. And these ones, this one with the longer handle is actually the crossbody one. And then we have one with a shorter handle, which is just over the shoulder one.
Yeah. So and so
those are
that's I really wanted to promote again the low key bags because, you know, especially the times these days we're trying to take less bags. Our store now is not giving out bags anymore. And Melissa and I always have these in our purse all
These
the
are
time.
grocery bags.
These are grocery bags. They're machine washable. You can fold them in a pouch or roll them and snap them. So it depends how you like to use them.
Yeah, so these are great because once you take your bag out, you've actually got a bag. And so you always put yours
I
back
always
in
put
the
mine
bag.
in my bag.
See, I don't. I use the small thing for
show you.
something else. So because they can just be rolled and snapped, and then I use the little carrying pouch for other small things that I need to carry around in my bag.
Yeah, and you know
So, because to me, putting this inside here, that is a pain. I don't have the patience for that. So I'm not, every time I go shopping, going to be like putting these all back together.
So this is mine.
yeah.
I always have it in my bag. And you know what I love is that I've been using this at least 3 years and the lines are still there. So it's so easy for me to fold.
Even after you wash it.
After you wash it, and you can machine wash and dry. It's so easy to fold. So,
And they hold like 44 pounds.
and you know, I've never, like, when you go clothes shopping, shoe shopping, grocery shopping.
Just always have it in your bag.
Always have it in your bag. And they're a little bit stiff when you first get them.
Yeah.
But then they totally like smush and soften. So I always have 2 actually in my bag at all times.
So we have all kinds of these. It's
Yeah.
just a sample of the ones we have. But
So
we've
we
got
really
tons
try
of
to, you know,
choices.
promote that reusable bag. And
Yes.
and it's hard because if you use those like thicker plasticky ones, people don't carry them with them. They leave them in their car and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I forgot my bag.
Yeah.
This, if you carry a purse or bag, you can carry that with you.
Yeah.
So that's the end of our bag
Okay.
set. So we have the new pom-pom called Terrain, Winter 29 that just arrived on our doorstep. And I love the sweater on the cover.
Isn't it pretty?
It's such a beautiful stitch. So you might want to go and check that out.
Who designed that one? Do you know?
I am on my way to find out. And there's a nice little, just a nice
toque.
little hat, a nice little toque with a little texture there, which is lovely. Let's see where that sweater is. Nice cardigan. Oh, that's a really nice wrap as well. With just a nice little cable. And then let's see. Oh, that kind of, yeah,
brioche.
some brioche, but some color work. So that's a nice, interesting textured sweater. And let's see, I'm trying to find that other sweater. I know, somebody told us we should just put
We should
Post-its.
bookmark our. I love those socks.
Yeah, I was
actually.
just gonna say those
Yeah.
are how nice. It's nice to see socks that are a little bit different because you know they're called Terraform. Oh, here
There
it
it
is,
is.
Saltings, and by Sarah Solomon.
yeah.
Oh, how lovely! We met her. She turned us on to tulip needles.
Yeah.
So that is such a pretty pattern. I mean, of course, it's the color that we're loving these days, but the texture of that sweater is really, really lovely.
So pretty. And Pom Pom Magazine is always such a great one.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's so nice. It's run by some lovely people as well. So nice to
Yes.
support that. So that's new. That's our only magazine.
I think
We
that's
still
the
have
only new
everything
one that we've
else.
had since we podcasted. Yeah.
I think so. And then
Okay. So now, should we show a little bit
Yeah,
of the
so let's
Vietnamese
show a
yarn? I
bit of
know
the
we
Vietnamese.
showed a little bit of the Mondim already, so you guys have seen that. But we brought a.
I brought way too many.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God,
this is,
Lisa.
no, this is just a DK.
Oh my! Did you get sport?
Yeah, I have sport.
Okay.
So what was interesting is, because it was really fun on the Friday night, we came and we set it
set
all up with
everything up.
Emma, Françoise, Melissa, and I. And Emma's great because like she knows every La Bien-Aimée name by
I
heart.
know, you just hold up. She's
She's like,
"That's
Emma,
it,
what's
that,
this? Emma, what's that? So then I was looking at all the yarn later and I said, so guys, do you think like if there was no label on the bien-aimé, we would just be as gaga over it? Or is it just like, nice hand-dyed yarn? And everyone was like, no, there's something there. And
Well, it's definitely unique and identifiable,
Yes.
but there's also a special
there's light.
vibe
There's a
to that.
luminosity in the
Yeah.
yarn that comes through even in a dark color. It's quite astounding. And
feeling. We have good feelings associated with this yarn.
yeah. So you're going to show the singles?
Yeah, so you know I feel like the merino singles are really what launched La Bien-Aimée, and this is the base that really took off first, and I remember everybody wanted, especially when there was the whole Find Your Fade.
Yes, that's when it
shawl
really
and all
took
that.
off.
Yeah, and there is just something very unique about the way that Amy does her color. I mean, obviously she has people working for her dyeing, but
She sets
she
the tone,
sets the
does
tones
the
and
tests.
creates the colors, and but just pulling the colors that she pulls together, and the delicacy of the speckles.
There's a
and-
richness, there's a depth,
Yeah.
there's like a lively,
There's levity.
fun, joyful element,
Yeah.
levity, that's good. But
And
sophistication.
anyway, so this is merino singles, single ply merino, fingering weight. Any shawls, anything that calls for a fingering weight is going to be gorgeous in this. I think a couple of ideas, for example, might be the
Vertices Unite.
Vertices Unite. I was thinking also the Vera Velimaki pattern that was in the very first liner, one of the first liner magazines.
Oh, the silver
silver
piece of silver.
piece of silver.
I
exactly,
have the yarn
know.
to knit that.
That came to mind because that's on our in our queue,
I have
right?
the yarn for that.
Yeah, so I mean, you can really use the fingering weight in anything that calls for the weight. Yeah.
And then
So,
moving on to the DK, so that's nice.
I might have taken 3 skeins of this for a Vertices Unite stranded with mohair.
So now we have the DK, and again, this is the colorway Lee's that she developed for Lee's Taylor, the author designer. So that's been a very popular color.
And it's a little bit. It's not as bright, but it's reminiscent of Amy's lipstick, which
Yes.
she didn't send as much this time, and
this one is
but this
seemed to
one
be
is.
So we have
vibrant
we have
with that.
kind of like the standard softer palette here, where we have kind
Clay
of tonals.
and Sansa,
Beautiful.
Sansa and clay and
And this one is High Garden.
High Garden. Yeah.
And then the reason I took so many is because I'm like, I can't leave out others, And then we get into the more colors, speckly, and then we get into more of the.
Oh yeah, the
these
caramel and the yellow brick road, of course.
So again, even though DK, it's not, the single ply is a little shinier with that, but this still has that shine and luminosity. So that's really nice to see. And then
We
move
have
into the
sport weight as well.
sport weight. So here, and it's nice because each yarn it has a
Oh, you
different
have more.
texture. That's all I
Oh,
have.
is that okay?
I
good.
don't want to mix these up, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
put these away.
Okay. So again, the yellow brick road is pretty iconic color from Amy, and then we have the Lee's color as well, and High Garden, and then of course some of her gorgeous spec. Oh, this is Autumn and Rhinebeck. Lise, this is the one you did your one color
right.
Vertices Unite
Yes,
in, right?
Yes. It's I like that she kept that color. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's really nice.
And
these are
then
too cute
this
as well.
one, I wanted to mention this color too. This one is Payon, and it reminds me a little bit of the Emmeline colorway that Max used for his new sweater. It's called So Basic or something like that.
Let me check. I'll check. That
Because
one
it is a very basic pullover. We should show that pattern actually, because that one uses the Mondim in the Emmeline colorway.
out. Fun. There he is. So there's the So Basic, which is a basic sweater, but it has a nice, it has a bit of a rib on the sleeve.
Yeah.
So it's like
And
nice
it has
subtle
a beautiful-
interpretation.
you see that leather?
Yeah.
That's actually a leather pocket that was made for him for the sweater by Jezebel.
Yeah.
Of
It's a faux
Jezebel.
leather, actually.
Or faux leather.
It's a faux leather pocket that Jezebel sourced for him. So that's, I just wanted to give a little more of
close-up?
A close-up. And then there's a very simple rib detail. And I really like that. It's that idea of something simple, but there's a bit of an interesting texture or a different
Yeah.
stitch to bring some variety to that. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's all our La Bien-Aimée.
That's
I
all
mean,
our-
we've only brought over a selection of colors. We have a nice variety still
Mm-hmm.
left. So
So we could do
that's all up in our web store now.
So that's the bien-aimé, and Diana's pattern we spoke about already with the Mondim, and then...
I also wanted to say that we were restocked in the Loopy Mango as well. Again, I think we sold out of the milk tea, or at least we may have enough for one more sweater. So we had talked about this and restocked it because we had knit the Kinnikin, and this has proven to be quite popular. So we keep bringing it back in, and we included this little jewel design closure here. And did we talk about these on the last podcast?
No, but we've talked on one of the podcasts.
We have talked about them before, yeah. And so what's nice is that you screw these in. They're not sewn on or anything. You just screw them in so you can move them from sweater to sweater, and they just undo because it's like a little carabiner style closure. So once you've got your two sides hooked onto your, screwed onto your sweater, you can just open and close it by using the carabiner.
She's very clever, and
very
this
clever.
is example of another one. And then this too is a different closure. Again, you screw it on, and then you clip it through, and then you can open and close.
I think that one would be nice on that sweater.
Yeah,
too.
that would be lovely.
Yeah.
And then we have black, we have brown, some are in dark blue, and these are in the natural color. And then she also has these pedestal buttons that I've used on a shawl, where I did a little crochet loop, and then I had I screwed in the button. So what's nice about this is you can keep the button in one area, or you can screw it and place it in a different area, and then you just have a movable button, so you don't have to worry about sewing on buttons or creating buttonholes. So she has a beautiful variety of products, and so you can just check out our website and see all the different products that.
I don't know about you, Lisa. Are you getting cold? I'm
Well,
cold
yeah,
in here.
the sun is going down, so we don't have as much sun through the window. So one thing we wanted to mention is we talked about the Owen hat that we kitted up, and we sold all the kits out already. However, when we went to reorder the yarn, the light gray has been discontinued. So
of course,
not stressful, but a bit disappointing, because light gray is very popular.
Yeah, and also when you've taken the time to knit up your store sample, and then all of a sudden
it's not there, it's a bit disappointing. However, we've decided that it would look lovely with cream, so we're going to kit it up again. And however, the light gray, which is I guess sort of the main, not even the main. No, it's all kind of,
because it's the medium gray.
Yeah.
So it's really wherever you see the lightest shade of gray here is going to be cream.
It's going
instead.
to be cream. So that's going to be just as lovely. So we're going to kit those up, and we also restocked our pom-poms. So that was one thing that we were missing.
Let's grab some pom-poms. So there's a lover for pom-poms that come from Austria.
They are amazing.
Yeah, and what's so nice is you just string them through the top of your hat, and then you just tie them in a little bow. They stay very securely, but it means that you can just move them from hat to hat. So there are all kinds of sort of removable pom-poms that come with snaps but I find this one the easiest in terms of just being able to pull out, wash your hat, and then thread back through and tie.
And I actually was at
it's a no-sew solution.
I was at a big box craft store on the weekend, and I saw similar pom-poms, and I was like, oh, these are like way cheaper. But they felt so synthetic, and they were already matted just by people touching them. So these are on the pricier side, but they're beautiful pom-poms.
And they're faux fur. Did
they're
we mention
faux fur.
that?
No, we didn't mention. They're faux fur, but they have just a beautiful look, and the quality, they're beautiful to the touch. So, there's all different levels of faux, and we just feel that these are beautiful. And I have to say, I find our color selection quite fun.
We did.
There is a blue. Believe it or not, this is blue.
Oh yes, it's sort of a slate.
It's like a dark bluey black. So there we go. So this is our color palette that we're rocking this season.
I think we did. I think we did
great. Fine. We also wanted to promote these recycled fur pom-poms that come from one of our teachers, Michelle. And so she just, for the fun of it, makes these recycled fur pom-poms. So we've had Hurricane in the past. Yeah. And we will probably get them once we run out of Michelle, because she can only produce so much. So she just goes to thrift shops and finds old fur coats, and then she makes these pom-poms out of them, and those are lovely also. And you know that we're reusing something that was made in the past,
exactly,
and so it won't go to landfill. So those are our pom-poms. We wanted to just do a little quick tour of some of our kits that have been restocked.
Oh yes, that have been restocked.
So one of them is
we start with the Chalet collection kits, Lisa?
Okay, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just because they're all handy here.
So the Chalet is what we launched last year with Diana Walla, and I don't know, it's something about like Christmas and cozy and wanting to knit cozy
and
knits.
ski season.
And these are actually Tristan's, and he wears them, Melissa's son.
Yes.
How
he
fun
wears
is
them
that?
all the time.
A teenager.
I had to. He was not even too keen on letting me take them for
the day.
For the day.
So how those are like, that's totally not Melissa's color, but she sucked it up for her son.
I sucked it up because he picked. So the original version and our kits include the green. But if you wanted to create your own kit and substitute the color, then by all means, we have all the yarn in stock. And
the
you can
pattern
just
is sold separately. So you can just go a
so
la
you
carte,
can just,
as they say.
buy your pattern on Ravelry and then and build your own kit from, did you say a la carte?
A la carte.
A la carte, exactly. So anyway, this was a very fun knit. And then we also have the leather soles as well that you just sew on.
And
so
they're in gray
anti-slip.
and in a brownish
Like in a brown
beige.
color,
And we
yeah.
have different sizes, children's and small.
And I will say, while I don't recommend throwing these in the washing machine, this is not a superwash yarn. It's the Rauma strict yarn with the 3-ply yarn. However, my son did get these mixed up in his clothing and put them through the wash. And my heart stopped because it was just a week or two after I had knit them for him last winter. And while they did come out, and I was worried about the suede as well, but it was fine. They just,
I would not know that these were put in the machine.
No,
I would not know.
They can't. I
It was
thought,
a front
no,
loader
they
you
shrunk.
had?
No.
I mean, yeah, you have a top loader?
No, sorry, it was front
Front
loader.
loader.
So it didn't have, that extreme
much
agitation.
agitation.
But, if they accidentally, just all that to say that if they accidentally get thrown in one time,
C'est pas la fin du monde.
it's not the end of the world.
C'est pas la fin du monde.
They're going to be okay. Just don't put them in the dryer. Although I have a feeling, if I remember,
They might have gone in the
they might
dryer
have also
too.
gone through the dryer. Yeah.
So, and this is our hat, our tremblant toque, which is super cute. Again, you can do different colors. We have the bromont mitts as the matching one.
And the Stoneham poncho. Oh, and then we also have the scarf.
Yeah. Le Massif. And for those of you who aren't aware, we've named all these after ski hills in the Quebec area. So Le Massif is a ski hill north of Quebec City. And then we have the Stoneham poncho too.
And these were all designed for us by Diana Walla. Taken White Vikings. Did you already mention
Yes,
that?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, so now we have, this is like, I mean, this has been around for a long time, but people still love it. So we're still stocking a few kits. And it's the Orefi sweater. I have to say, it's a bit disappointing because I'd like to wear it, but then people are always like, oh, do you have the sample here? So unfortunately, it's living in the store. It's such a beautiful, cozy sweater.
So nice.
Like, I just think of like winter at home, holidays, going outside, sledding, whatever.
It is luscious. So this is knit with the Let Lopi from Iztex Lopi, and it holds up well.
It holds up really well. This is quite a few years old, and just the graphic design is so modern. So we're stocking kits for that.
Okay, and we've also stocked kits in the Junko Okamoto rug sweater kit, and I am not nice enough to leave this as a in the store as a store sample because I do wear it quite often.
And this is in the Alafos, right?
Yeah, this is in the thicker yarn, so this is knit with the Alafos Lopi. So, the last time I wore it was actually just around a campfire.
Yeah, I
was
saw the
away,
Instagram
and
post.
It was so cozy, and so I'm looking forward to wearing that.
And
more
that's like
this
really
winter.
nice and blocks wind and stuff. So then another nice, not a sweater, but a wrap is the In Good Company wrap that Françoise and I designed. So this is the one that's marsh mohair with the Rauma Lamo garn, which is the lace weight. So, and if you don't like mohair, then you can definitely do it with just one yarn. So we have...
And that one's a free pattern.
This is a free pattern, and it's called In Good Company wrap. And we have the scarf version. So if you prefer a scarf version, we've done this in the nightshades. And this one is in the Talk Radio, which we were sold out for quite a while, but we're fully stocked. And I've done this really on a looser gauge, even though they claim it's a DK weight. This is a 16 stitch gauge. So it's really nice. It has a little more flexibility knit at that gauge, but still retains the warmth. And what I like about this is you have that detail at the end, but then it's easy-going stockinette as you go on. So that's a free pattern.
And then just when you've had enough stockinette, you get to do the other end.
Yeah, and it was a fast. I have to say, it went relatively fast, and we have kits for that for the original color in Talk Radio. But if you prefer a different color, you can do à la carte, as we say. So that's that pattern.
So then we also have some kits back in stock for the Bonjour High cowl, and this is knit with the Gray Space, our Espace Tricot Gray Space that's dyed for us by Annie Perrin, and I paired it with, it's the the Bonjour High colorway, and I paired it with the Isair Silk Mohair. I can't remember what the color name was
It's
exactly.
something coral Coast
Coral,
or
it was
something
coral.
like that.
Actually, it was just called Coral. And so we have kits in stock for this as
And
well.
free pattern as
yes,
well.
and the kits, the yarn in the kit is enough to knit all sizes in the pattern. So.
And you know, we what we realize is people often like the colors that we do the sample in, so that's why we have kits. But you know, really, you need to go with what works for you. So don't be
Yeah.
shy to just get the pattern, see the yarn requirements, then go to our web store and then just match the colors
And
that
all
you
our
think go
patterns
well.
are free, so it's not going to cost you anything to just go download it, have a look at
Right.
it, and see if it's something that you want to build
Yeah.
your own kit around.
And then
So,
sometimes you have something you can pull from your stash and then just complement with a yarn if you don't have it.
yeah. And then this is the last one, I think. Is this the last kit?
No,
that we...
then there's just the
the
great
mid-coast,
gather
right?
the mid coast.
Yeah, okay. So this one is called the Gather Round, and this one we were waiting for some mohair from Lichen and Lace. So it pairs our Gray Space in the Érable colorway with the Lichen and Lace silk mohair as well, and it is restocked in all sizes. So, you know, it is short sleeve, and that might put some people off from knitting it in the winter, but it's just a great layering piece. So
Yeah,
throw
you
it
wear
over
like a long sleeve t-shirt or even a blouse. I saw somebody wear it with like a collar blouse. It looks so great
kinda
on
cool.
them.
So
Yeah, with like big sleeves.
don't be dissuaded, or just knit it with longer sleeves.
Yeah.
So
Or knit it with a
that's it.
summer yarn.
Or knit it with the summer yarn.
Yeah.
I know. So Jennifer Steingast, you guys, designed. We were so incredibly honored, but she designed this new sweater in our yarn. It's in the Grace yarn, and it's called Mid Coast. And so of course we had to go ahead and create kits for it. So it's in Cinema, Chateau, and Érable. And so we just created kits in the colorway that it was designed with, but again, don't be shy to create your own kits. So
I know it's such an honor for us. I mean, the fact
Yeah.
that Jennifer came and to our store and chose the yarn and then designed with it. It's humbling,
It
shall
is
we say?
humbling. So, and such a beautiful design. So that is also, I love knitting Jennifer's patterns, and after the last one, I'm hooked on
I
her
know.
patterns.
So that's it for the kits. And then the last little bit is we just wanted to talk about some new notions that we have. So we have Pearl and Hank, which is really beautiful. Our staff are just like over the moon.
So these little, I mean,
Like
these are pretty sexy, I have to say.
not like my low rank.
So, you know, we thought this was just going to be a little case that you opened and that you could sort of, it's like a little toolkit basically. And so we opened it, we saw everything was in it, and then came to realize that all of that is included in every single one. You don't have to, you know, source all those things that are going to fit in these little slots perfectly. So you know, you've got your pencil, you've got your snips, you've got a little darning needle, and you've got a measuring tape.
And I just want to mention that the measuring tapes are different colors. So you don't know which color you're going to get. So unfortunately, you could maybe request, I would like this color, and then we could let you know
how
if
many
it's not
colors are
available.
there?
I saw white and I saw blue.
And then you've just got a little pocket here for all of your little, well, it comes with stitch markers, but you can also fill it up with whatever else you need for your project. And then just snap it closed and throw it in your project bag, and that way you can move it from project bag to project bag, or you can, you know, I tend to have a little notion set in
travel.
Well, yeah, but I have one in each one of my ongoing projects just in case.
Yeah. I do. And I have to say the leather is gorgeous. Like it really feels like a quality, like leather boots would be made out of this. So see, there's the blue one here, and then there is the white one over there.
And then she also makes these sew-on leather tags, say made with love. And so, for example, do you have a hat handy, Lise?
I have the Owen
Maybe
hat
your,
right here.
okay. So you would fold it in half and just put it either at the bottom of a sweater or on the cuff of your hat, and then just sew through the pre-punctured holes. So nice.
So so it's fun, and you know, she's a Canadian maker. How nice is that, right?
Exactly.
So that's great. I just wanted to say, this scarf, this subtle interruption, it just feels like it's part of me.
There you go.
Like it's just like I'm not hot, I'm not cold, I'm just perfect temperature. So not to Bischenbusch, Petit Lambswool.
Yeah.
Because I really feel that it's like auto-regulating.
There you go. Auto-regulating. That's good.
Auto-regulating. Furthermore, for Catherine Pelletier, who's an illustrator from Quebec City, she had a baby a few months ago, so took a little bit of time off, but she's back in action, and she created some new watercolor cards. And just like so pretty, you know. So
they're all fiber, wool, and knitting related, or most of them are.
And what's really nice is that they're for anybody, right? You don't just have to give these to a knitter. So they're beautiful cards, and some of them have more of a Christmas theme or holiday theme, winter theme, and other ones are just general. So I think it's really fun. So, and then she had these little notepads that we're going to be restocking.
Did you get the note cards?
Yes,
Cards?
I have the gift cards right here. So these are 12 gift cards, and she's got 4 étiquettes par modèle, so it must be 3 models. So how cute is that? So every time I give, so this is one of the
so you can just tie it to the top of your gift.
Yeah, because what I do is whenever I give a knitted gift, I always like, so this is one of them, hats. And then,
to write all the care instructions
yes,
on it?
Exactly. Thank you for finishing my sentence. So I always like to write the care instructions and the fiber content of the yarn. So that's something that's nice. So those are available from our web store.
Yeah, I will say they're going fast. Okay, and I wanted to say we don't have all of our things.
I did bring
but
stuff.
Did you bring all of them?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you know we've long had these tools made for us by Katrinkles, and we just had to have them all redone because our logo has changed, and so we just got our first shipment of all our tools with our new logo on it, or updated model.
And these are the cedar blocks, and as I had mentioned in a previous podcast, is whenever you find the cedar starts to lose its smell, you just take a light sandpaper. That was Mona's suggestion, and then they bring the cedar back.
Renews them, exactly.
And it's so nice to have these always just stored in your drawers or your sweaters.
And then we have a whole bunch of these keychains. So we have different things on the back of them. This one is Kitchener stitch. We have wrap and turn.
German short
rows. So that's just with our new logo on the front. And then this one is your 2-inch gauge ruler along with your needle gauge measurer. Is that a word? Is that a thing? Needle gauge measurer?
We're making up words here as we go. This is a little project bag tag where you can put your email or your number behind, and this one says the first rule of Knit Club is you tell everyone about Knit Club. So it's kind of these little tags are pretty cute.
And then here another 2-inch gauge ruler for swatch measurer. 2-inch gauge ruler with You Had Me at Tricot, and our logo in the back. So I just love this little collection of all our stuff.
So much fun, and it's all wood. And again, Katie is a small maker too. Well, she's growing by leaps and bounds. I watched their Christy Glass interview in her new workshop.
She's in every store now
with her machines. We're so proud of her. She's such a lovely person. Everyone we deal with is lovely. If they're not lovely, we wouldn't be dealing with them. I have to say,
whenever I see things like that with our logos on them, it makes me feel very official.
Oh,
we have branding.
Oh my God, we're like important.
Branding, and we're fancy.
And then the Gleaner. We always, the Gleaner again is, Kim, who started the Gleaner, and they're just down the street from us, and they're just lovely people. And the Gleaner is still our ultimate fuzz remover. So, and that's good for everyone, not just people who are knitters.
Yeah,
so
it's a great gift idea.
It's a great gift idea. And then there's the little travel one, if you prefer that one. And it's clamshell designed with the extra blades on the inside. And then this is an attachment that you put to this is what's it called, the lint remover, and then you attach this, and it's actually to take off the pet fur from your furniture or your sweaters, but people use it also to brush their dog apparently, so that's good.
Because everything sticks to it.
Yes, and then you can get extra blades. So you can get a pack where you have all 3 blades, but the medium-sized blades are the ones that are the most popular, so if you just want medium-sized replacements, you can get those. So, and then they have the dryer balls. So these just live in my dryer. I have a pack of 6. I've had them for years. And though it doesn't remove necessarily static from, like, if you have a lot of the workout wear, polyester wear, what it's great is that it helps reduce the drying time because it bounces around and puts air in your
so it reduces by about 30%, I think.
Yeah, I think it's really good. And if you have any down coats or polyester coats or like duvets, you always need to throw tennis balls in. So these are great. And then someone asked me actually if they disintegrate because there's 2 that they can't find. And I was laughing. I'm like, actually, that happens to me all the time, and then I lose them, and then
they show up in the bottom of a duvet cover or something,
exactly,
right?
and you're like, oh, now I have 6 again, and then I have 3, and then I have 5. So they do not disintegrate in the laundry. So those are from the Gleaner.
Okay.
And then I guess going along with laundry care,
Oh, I can't take this one off.
we have the Eucalan.
So the soak and the Eucalan. So these are great for washing your knitted pieces.
And also for your any thing you wash by hand.
Yeah.
So they're great for like
that's true, all your
lingerie or
lingerie
anything, or traveling too. I bring a little one when I
They're very,
travel.
very mild, and neither one of them do you need to rinse. Actually,
Right.
I still go ahead and rinse because
Like a quick little rinse.
yeah,
but
quick
it's
little
not
rinse.
so
But they're
sensitive.
very mild, so they're not going to damage your clothes at all if you don't rinse, and they're just very gentle on the fibers. But they do leave your things really nice and clean.
And
So
we have
there's
these little
Eucalan.
and we have these little sachets of soak as well.
Yeah.
You can get like a little mix pack, and so you can, if you don't want to travel with a bottle, or you want to, what I do too is when I give somebody a gift, I put like a little sachet in so that they have an idea, and then they can buy more themselves if they want.
And the difference between the soak and the Eucalan is that the Eucalan contains a little bit of lanolin, so that it's restoring sort of the protection that real wool has. So it will restore that and put that back into the wool to increase its longevity and recondition it.
So those are great little, and we have the bigger bottles and the smaller ones, and then we have all the different scents. And then a little needle nook, unfortunately we don't have it open. We've talked about these before. So again, Dave, a maker from the US, makes these for us out of his garage, and they're magnetic boxes, and you use these to when you have socks on the go. So unfortunately,
If you're a double-pointed needle
if you're
user.
exactly. So then you have your needles that sit in the nook and your sock that hangs out. And we have the 6-inch and the 8-inch. So these are super popular for sock knitters. And then I also, we wanted to talk about just some people. I noticed I did a post on Instagram about Ipa, who's knitting a colorwork sweater, and she actually finished her sweater. And some people commented about how they're knitting with their nieces, their nephews, their grandchildren, and they wanted some tips on things to do. So if kids are not into knitting, they can make pom-poms. So, and you can give them all your leftover pom-poms. So we have like this set that comes like 2 sizes. We have the mega one, and then we have one in between that were sold out, but it's coming. And actually, some of the kids at Gianluca's school made these as toys for their cats.
Oh, cute.
So they made pom-poms, and then they play with them with their cats. And then another child, what they did was they made birds' nests. So they made birds' nests with yarn and had little pom-poms. Apparently it's a thing for
sweet.
birds. So
really?
yeah, so you might want to Google
Ew.
that. And then also, if you do want to get into knitting, we have the Lion brand for kids. This is if you're 10 millimeters, so if you're working with a super bulky
Teach
yarn.
a kid to knit this Christmas.
Yeah, there you go. And then these ones are the 6 millimeter that you can use with an Aran or a bulky yarn. And what's fun about the colored ones is that you can say, okay, now put it around the red or go around the blue, and they're shorter and so lighter for the children and easier to manipulate. And then another thing too is we have tassel makers. Now these aren't just for kids, they're for us too, and we make our tassels. So these are from Clover, and what I like about these is it's very even, because I always used to use cardboard, but here I like it because it's more precise with the measurements. So these are for smaller tassels and larger tassels.
I still use cardboard.
Yeah.
Actually, I use CD cover cases.
Oh, yeah, 'cause you have your standard.
Or even just my phone.
I've actually used these ones, so I can attest to
Have
those.
you?
Yeah. And then this I love, love, love. It's the Knitting Tower by Camden Rose. It's a knitting dolly, knitting Nancy, tricotin as we say in French, and it has 4 prongs on one side, and the other side is a 6 prong. And this is good for a worsted weight or a bulky weight, and you can also make them yourself. They're obviously cheaper, but I like the feel of the wood, and I like the fact that they're smaller, and it actually comes with the instructions. So Which is nice. So you have all that. So this is a great way. So I started kids like as of kindergarten. So say 5 years old, I started them off with this. And then in some cases, kids can go to needles, and sometimes they just want to stay with pom-poms and tricotin, as we say in French. And then if you want to go on to knitting, you can. So those are some really good tools just to have fun during the holidays, right? Kids are over, you want to use your stash, you want to do something with them. And then with the pom-poms or the I-cord that comes out, you can make butterflies, you can make flowers, you can have fun.
Okay, so I think
that's it. I don't know well, we're going to try to podcast again before Christmas.
yes, because we
We're gonna
have
try.
some new things coming that we really want to share. So even if we just pop in briefly, right?
Maybe.
Yes.
Is that possible? Est-ce que
Yeah,
c'est
we don't have to-
possible?
We don't have to do it to our podcast every time or even an hour long. We can just
know.
pop in with a couple of things that we want to mention to you guys in time for the holidays.
So thanks for sticking by us.
Yes,
Merci
and we'll see you
beaucoup.
next time.
Yes, merci. À
And
la
let's assume
prochaine.
that we're going to see you one more time before the
Okay.
holidays, and we'll wish you happy holidays
Yes. Exactly.
when we're back.
Merci
Yeah.
beaucoup. À la prochaine. Ciao,
Okay,
ciao.
bye-bye.